Thanks for joining St. George News at 8. I'm Scott Beadle. The Brian Head fire continues to grow overnight. It is now close to 11,000 acres in size, and more evacuations are possible. Authorities are calling this unprecedented. The fire made an 8-mile run Wednesday, more than doubling in size to 10,950 acres, prompting evacuations in Garfield County at Horse Valley, Clear Creek, and Beaver Dam. The town of Brian Head remains under evacuations. More evacuations are planned today in Iron County in the Red Creek area. Authorities anticipate the fire could push toward Panguitch Lake due to a shift in the winds. They're also stressing Utahns be wary of what you might read on social media regarding evacuations, as some false rumors have been spreading online. All evacuation orders are handled through the Incident Command Center. For a full list, you can go to our website, stgeorgenews.com. A federal grand jury issues a new indictment against fundamentalist LDS polygamous sect leader Lyle Jeffs. Jeffs was on the run from authorities for nearly a year before his arrest in South Dakota last week. He's charged with a new felony count for failure to appear. Prosecutors filed the charge Wednesday in Salt Lake City. Jeffs could potentially face up to 10 years in prison on that new charge. Jeffs escaped from home confinement in Salt Lake City in June of last year. He was awaiting trial on accusations he instructed followers to buy items with their food stamp cards and give them to a church warehouse, diverting at least $12 million worth of federal benefits. Jeffs is still facing 2 felony charges in that matter. A Washington City woman, was arrested Monday for allegedly embezzling $60,000 from her employer over a 3-year span. 30-year-old Amy Lynn Atwell is accused of using a company credit card issued by a plumbing company for personal expenses between February 2014 and February 2017. The report was filed to detectives on April 18th from the owner of the company. The owner told police Atwell held a position of trust as the company's cost controller and that she had made purchases without the owner's authorization or knowledge. Atwell admitted to using the company card for personal expenses after being confronted by the company owner. Atwell was arrested and booked and subsequently posted $10,000 bail for her release. She is set to appear in court on June 26th. As higher temperatures roll out with the start of summer, so do the mandatory seasonal water restrictions implemented by the City of St. George.
The council has implemented mandatory watering restrictions, so those with watering with culinary, which is our drinking water, need to water between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. and that's because they will get much more water put on the soil and much less water lost to evaporation, so they're going to get more efficiency out of the water they put on their landscape. What I generally do is send a letter or try to reach somebody by an email if we've got their email address, just to give them a reminder of the restrictions, the reason for the restrictions. It does not apply to those that water with irrigation quality water, which is water from the wastewater treatment plant.
Today, it's our first look at the much anticipated Senate GOP healthcare plan. Democrats have criticized the Republican bill, written and negotiated behind closed doors. Kenneth Moten has the details from Washington.
Healthcare protests in the halls of Capitol Hill. Police dragging demonstrators who were screaming and chanting against the newly revealed Senate GOP healthcare plan. Many of the protesters in wheelchairs. The chaotic scene playing out in front of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's office. McConnell on the floor praising the Senate GOP bill.
It's time to act, because Obamacare is a direct attack on the middle class.
The Senate version establishes a system of tax credits to help Americans buy insurance, eliminates Affordable Care Act mandates requiring people to have coverage, provides $10 to $15 billion annually over the next 4 years to help lower premiums, and it rolls back the expansion of Medicaid for low-income Americans, giving more power to the states. Another point of contention, the rush to vote next week. Health care for millions of Americans on the line. Senate Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes. Senators got their first look at their plan to overhaul Obamacare this morning.
This is a bill designed to strip away health care benefits and protections from Americans who need it most.
Last month, President Trump celebrated when House Republicans passed their version, later privately saying the bill was, quote, mean. The president speaking about the new Senate GOP plan from the White House.
We'd love to have some Democrat support, but they're obstructionists. They'll never support. We won't get one, no matter how good it is.
And the fight is far from over. That Senate plan will need a score from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office before a vote, possibly next week. If the bill passes, then it's back to the House. Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers has your Southern Utah forecast right after this.
The weather tonight is brought to you by AWI Networks, smarter internet.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Thursday evening to you. Still seeing lots of heat and humidity, or heat and dry weather out there, I should say, as we go through the next couple of days. That excessive heat warning still in effect for St. George and areas to our south and west through parts of Nevada and also northwestern parts of Arizona. Also seeing that heat advisory in effect too in parts of Arizona and around the Cedar City area, having that red flag warning in effect. One thing missing, though, you see a little bit further to our north, though, those warnings and watches for heat have actually been allowed to expire. That's because temperatures in northern parts of Utah have dropped about 10 to 15 degrees as a cool front passed through there last night. No such luck here for us, though, as our temperature did drop a couple degrees, but no big cool down like they saw to our north. But temperatures today, again, 96 degrees our high in Cedar City, 97 degrees Enterprise, 107 the high over in Hurricane, 108 in St. George, 114 Mesquite, and 113 degrees the high temperature today in Las Vegas. Overnight tonight, then a little bit cooler in Cedar City, back into the 50s. By tomorrow morning, 53 degrees expected there. Otherwise, upper 70s still for many of our other areas in southern Utah, from St. George to Mesquite to Hurricane. As we go through the day on our Friday, then a little bit cooler, again back into at least the mid to low 90s around Cedar City. A lot of sunshine expected throughout the day. Northwest winds continuing about 10, maybe 15 miles per hour with that high in Cedar City, reaching about 94. Now for St. George and southern Utah, still a lot of sunshine expected throughout our Friday. Still dry and still seeing that triple-digit heat to 108, the high temperature expected. West-southwest winds as high as 15 miles per hour. So really more of the same the next couple of days. We're going to keep it sunny, dry, continue hot for our Friday. Now that excessive heat actually hangs around through the weekend too, as we keep the triple-digit heat here in southern Utah. And by early next week, really more of the same. Hot weather, plenty of sunshine into early next week. May see temperatures drop back at least into the low triple digits, maybe the 101 to 102 range early next week, but still looking like we're going to continue to see these hot temperatures and dry weather continue for an extended period of time here, at least into the middle part of next week. Here's why: high pressure controlling our area, controlling our weather once again. So basically a heat wave going on through Arizona, here in southern Utah, even parts of Nevada and California, seeing those triple-digit temperatures, or at least into the mid to upper 90s in most areas. But again, the heat doesn't rebuild back up near Salt Lake City, where they saw temperatures today back into the low 90s compared to the triple digits they saw earlier this week. And it looks like the heat will return to that area, though, too, by the time we get to not only this weekend, but actually into early next week as well. Here's a look at our temperatures for your Friday: 94 in Cedar City, 96 Enterprise in Newcastle, 108 in St. George, 112 degrees in Las Vegas. Here's your 7-day forecast for Cedar City. Again, 90s around, mid-90s for the weekend, and then back to low 90s by early next week. No chance of rain, though. Pretty dry here and around southern Utah and St. George. Temperatures again staying near 108 or 109 as we head into the weekend, partly to mostly sunny skies. And then by next week, we do drop back to the 102 range by Wednesday or Thursday of next week. But again, a lot of dry weather in our forecast. Not looking like any rain chances coming anytime soon. So we'll keep the heat and the dryness around for the next several days.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Well, do you want to win $500 in cash? To enter, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page and click on the link to enter the word of the day. And today's word is money. We'll be right back with details on a dinosaur adventure. The Bureau of Land Management Moab Field Office is launching its summer series, Jurassic Walks and Talks, a free tour of dinosaur fossils and track sites led by a BLM paleontologist. The series runs every weekend through Labor Day in the Moab area and will also include discussions and hands-on activities for the kids. Thousands of dinosaur tracks and several new species, including the Utah raptor, have been found in the Moab area over the last 20 years. Featured sites on the walk will include the Mill Canyon Track Site, the Mill Canyon Bone Trail, the Copper Ridge Tracks, and more. Tours take place in the mornings, Friday through Sunday, and the weekend evening Jurassic Talks take place at 6 p.m. outside the Moab Information Center. For more details and a schedule of events, contact the BLM office at 435-259-2100. Sounds like some fun stuff.
It looks like a good time, yeah.
Thanks for watching.
We hope you have a great night.